Dude, this place is so fucking cool.
Well, thanks, man. This is it's a work in progress, and you can only see one angle, but it's getting there. It's the Bat Cave is coming together.
See, it has the vibe because it's so moody, it's so dark, but it still keeps you in the mood to stay awake because at the same time, behind us, we have a whole room full of instruments, full of beautiful microphones. And then when you get to look over here and you see the preamps, I see API. We got Universal Audio. Tell us a few of these brands and everything you got.
Yeah. So we kind of like at the helm here. We got a vintage SSL 4000 G Plus. It came from CNC Music Factory. So like all the songs that CNC made, like from '94 up, they did it on this desk. So this is sweet. It's like a piece of history.
How many channels are you running right here?
64. It's a 72 channel frame. 64 channels are loaded.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then we got I'd like switch to warm audio, and it's like going to the Equate brand to like name brand certain things, but I'll say this. I got the 1073s. We got a ton of them. Tony, my partner, like went on a limb and he's like, "Hey, let's try some of these out." And they've been amazing. So like I got to brag on the warm audio 273s. I got some SSL alphas, some LA 610s, an Avalon 737 on the preamp side. So then I got a couple Neve, couple Avitas, some API, some EQs like that. I got a Manley bus comp, some 1176s, a ton of distressors.
God, so if you know music, right now, you might be wetting the bed or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get too graphic, but wow. Okay, first off, explain to the person that wouldn't know, maybe they're into aliens, they came for that part of the show. What does that mean? Okay, we just said all these names, Universal Audio, Neve, Solid State. What exactly would this do? Say, I have this microphone, where do I go down the chain from the microphone?
Well, we all know
I
like
go
a
straight
mic
here?
Yeah, we all know mic cord. So this is like our street, and it's going to get us from each part of the city. And ultimately, to make the mic where you can hear it, just like your iPhone when you plug it into like your car stereo, you're amplifying it. So we just have a microphone amplifier. We can kind of, set it how we need. And then there's just after that, you don't really need much. It's up to flavor. I mean, we can hit some EQs.
So these just flavor the microphone. Is that how you would do it?
Yeah. It's like.
So if we don't use those, like, the mic's just gonna not sound good?
No, it can still sound good because sometimes you want like bland, like.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a horn part or like a backup like a third harmony vocal. Maybe it doesn't need to be like all the way in the front, real big in the mix.
That's interesting.
So you just want to you still want it to be high fidelity and high quality.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't want so much pizzazz on it. So yeah, you just.
So are these one. Like when they add gain to and
Yeah.
Meaning okay, explain gain. People are so. People, I've read into this myself. Of course I know what gain is, but like people were really confused on that between volume and gain, and they might think they know, and they're still confused on what gain really is.
Yeah, I think.
Or gain staging.
Gain is, I don't know, maybe how much you're amplifying the wavelength per an interval, which this is way over anybody's head. But anyway.
No, there will be people that are watching though that will
So like
really appreciate that.
The preamp is like, the wave is like little, and you can amplify that wave in intervals with the preamp. In the gain stage, you can gain it to the point where it's like too unusable. It sounds like crap to store. It sounds like it's coming through a phone.
Yeah.
So you got to know how to properly gain stuff. To make things loud, I think people do confuse that because you think, oh, it sounds loud, it sounds good. So you don't want to drive the gain too hard. There are instances, but you just want to crank the volume at that point. So you could gain low and then just pump the volume like crazy, to make it louder. So that you're not amplifying the wave so much that it's naturally just big and exploding and sounds like ass.
So currently what we're running, we're like on the Shure SM7Bs.
Yep.
Which one are we plugged into?
We're each going through a warm audio 273 channel.
Ooh. That's really cool, man, because if y'all been watching like the Journey thing I just dropped, that's on a Warm Audio WA87R2. So
Yeah, the mic is awesome. Here, let me put.
he has preamps that are the same brand, and that brand's just great. They make, Neumann level, damn near, I'll say that, you know what I'm saying, and at a fraction of the cost. So like we took it apart and noticed there was like Neumann, what did you say was in there?
It's actual like real transformers and stuff. So
that's surprising because that microphone's 600.
1 second.
The other one it would be branded after is 3,500. So
Sure, I can see the red light.
there's a huge difference there.
Yeah, but the quality,
Because that saves you money. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to go spend all that money? And yes, I'm at the best, but what can I do with the offset of the cost into marketing or another piece of equipment, say a preamp? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself sometimes, for the budget person at home, that's going to be the majority of people anyways.
I think you learn, you use what you have like at hand. Like you don't have to have the best, name brand.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a J, it doesn't mean it's going to make you dunk and like.
Oh shit!
You may look good walking down the street, but it's the same thing with the gear in the studio, man. Like, so I think what Warm Audio's done is it's given somebody the opportunity to have like the quality for the budget, and I mean, I'm proud to say I made a couple albums with them, and I was just like, I'm blown away. Like I still listen to the albums and like they hit hard, really clean. I don't know that I would switch to like, we have some other name brand. So I think you use what you got. Like if you got a good voice, you can sing through the phone. It's probably going to sound good. Like
cool. So we got the Shure. We're plugged into the Warm Audio.
Yep.
From there, where do we go from there?
We're going to a couple distressors, just compressors, just leveling like, like if we scream. And then it just
it keeps it from raising volume or like keeps it leveled.
Yeah, but they're like set solo. I mean, it's like for something drastic. It kind of like makes it like round.
if I take my shirt off and just start screaming like from the pre-workout, I
said we got a couple distressors that are just kind of leveling it. If we have like any loud spikes and into the Pro Tools rig, that's the chain.
Oh, Pro Tools. Okay. I hope you didn't just make a lot of people mad because there's a lot of different softwares out there. There's huge debate.
That's why I said use what you have. So Logic, GarageBand, Audition, Reaper, Cubase, Cakewalk, whatever you got. Like it's all good.
Why do you use Pro Tools? Is it
just
why is it special to you?
Industry standard. Like working with other, I guess they were clients, but working with other people. It's just how we interface the same file systems. And at a certain point, when we started the studio 10 years ago, like to be a professional studio, you had to have like Pro Tools. And so we just have adapted to that and we've stayed that course. I mean, now they have like Universal Audio Apollos. I mean, we use Logic all the time. Like whatever the client brings in or whoever we're recording, a lot of pre-sessions are done in GarageBand even. So we'll bring them in. And
really?
Yeah.
GarageBand.
Demos and stuff. Like,
oh, okay.
I've heard some good ones.
That's surprising.
So they can
I wouldn't think that actually.
Yeah, they can bring their session in and they're like, we'll open it up and I can see it. And we can kind of fine tune it so we can get the song like, in check and then ready to go. And if we're using studio musicians, it allows us to like map the song and get everything laid out.
Is there a favorite style of music you'd like to record here in the studio? And let me go further. Is it because you're in this new spot versus your other spot? Has your genre changed as a producer?
Like I'm always been about making real music, and if it was like an alley or a lane that, when they came and they were like, "Hey, we need you to record the symphony," like, and I had never recorded a symphony before, I'll just keep it real with you and be like, "Hey, I've never done this before, but I'm competent. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out there, and we've been able to get good stuff." So in that situation, I don't know what it is. The studio is so new right now. Like I haven't had we're still building it and I've only had a few sessions in here at this point. Like you're actually kind of getting like a sneak peek. There hasn't been a lot of people.
Hold up for the podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
for real.
I'm serious.
Give me some action.
Yeah, it's like we're not like really open.
Hold up, I feel really special right now. That's really cool.
No, that's what I thought that's why we could do this. I mean, for real, Aron, we've worked together on different levels. Him as an actor, and we've talked as a musician, but never worked together.
We're
And you do
about
your own
to.
thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, so we're going to, but I
Well,
think
you
my
were
favorite,
fucking, bro, you were like Spielberg, bro, making movies.
no, just grinding. I want to make movies.
We got a movie.
The goal is to make
We got
movies.
a movie. We got a movie lined up.
Yeah, I used to have like a really close friend, and like we always had these dreams, and like we were building like both of these like stories in our life, and like we just like dreamed about these short films and these movies always. So the move is always to make albums and just to make like content creation of like what I love.
Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills in the beginning. So we're doing it all right now, like commercials, albums, voiceovers. I mean, music videos. We've just been, whatever we can do, we've been excited to do it.
Dude, that's badass.
Yeah.
So going from there, we worked together. We did a couple of those ourselves.
And cuts like a knife, bound to the badlands, heaven's distraction. There's no persuasion, stronger than sorrow, it's stronger than. It's a matter of choice.
Yeah.
They were super creative. They blew my mind, actually. And
Everybody brought.
in a number of ways, it was because, you know, Chris brings together the collective, and meaning you got Hustle. Shout out Tyler Sloan, right? Y'all have worked together.
Yeah. We
You've
used to work together. Like,
With Brittany, you know, for developing own makeup lines and stuff, like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like bringing people together. Then you ask me, I show up. There's a whole set. I meet Robert. I meet everybody.
oh yeah.
You know, Jabbar, everybody, dude, and it's just crazy. Like it's a whole set. You know, then they paint me gold. It's
Legitimately,
like, it's so crazy.
Brittany Stone came up with all that.
The concept of the collective, but to be able to direct everybody, you were so seamless, and it made me as an actor that day feel like I was taken care of, and it just, everything was, dude, how good was it? Just all day, right?
It was just naturally. I think everybody was like pumped up. We were getting really good shots for any project. Like, and as a musician yourself, like it's usually is like it's never just like a one person thing. It's like so many people involved. So it's really cool. Like Brittany Stone comes and she's like, "Hey, I want to find somebody," and I have this whole imagery based thing where I want to body paint, and she's like a weirdly skilled you know, she should be in like Hollywood, like working major sets. So to have her creative vision, then we just get to like find people like you guys, like who, you know, you were perfect for the part. Like we had never talked about acting. It just, I hit you up and you were like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I mean, it's like so professional, and it makes everybody, like when we're getting the shots, like remember we were looking at the big screen and like everybody's pumped up. It wasn't,
Dude, it really
like,
felt like a movie. Like
it was like, man,
blows my mind.
the day's over and you're like, I don't want it to end. You're so tired and you're like, man, I'm ready for it to end.
Yeah.
But
I had a few shoots like that, like Cole Schwartz, like now he's with Lyrical Lemonade,
dude, he's-
Love that dude, bro. Big shout out
mad
Cole.
respect to him.
Yeah, so now he's up in Chicago just killing the game, you know.
Always
You
looked
know,
up to him.
dude, you see Wiz Khalifa or somebody on his page, you never know who. But working with him, you know, I got really my first taste of what it's like to jump into doing music videos, but making it like more of a movie, thinking beyond, you know. And then, you know, real life street stars, you know, I got to work with them a little bit. Jonathan Maduagwu, man, that was lit. We just rolled around the city, wrote these notes, kept coming up with concepts on the spot, you know.
I think having those experiences, you know, that's what makes you seasoned. That's what gives you like the wisdom. Because each time for me, it's like, I wished I had this master plan to tell you, but like, these are just dreams, you know. So I'm trying to bring all the people together that can make these. It's like, is this too far out there? Like, this is going to be failure, or is this going to work? Like, so when we bring people and we get the equation right, It's like Adam Sandler movies. Like, I just want to
Dude,
keep
it's so
bringing the
funny,
same
right?
people. Like,
We just start getting in texting frenzies. Like,
like-
we won't hear from each other, and then texting frenzies of boom, boom, boom,
there's a
boom,
shoe,
all these
like, we need-
ideas.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we got this idea and concept, and the whole team's behind it.
and we're like, hey, what's cool? I mean, what I like working with you is like you're always like you're pushing the envelope, like always trying to do like really high end stuff.
Says the guy.
No, like you
Need I
really,
say more? Say less.
you are like even looking today, like I knew that you did gaming just from social media, but looking how in depth it is, like I mean that's like next level. How you do your stream and he like edits and like shows multiple views and stuff. I mean, it just kind of opened my mind up to like what am I missing out? I need to get
Man,
Do we need a Twit editing department in here?
well, yeah. I mean, that's the
What?
future. I mean, video games are awesome, bro. I mean, because we're at a day and age where it's not only kids playing, it's a whole generation of people like me that are 27, 28, 30, even 40 that grew up with video games as well. I mean, we're in the
late
future.
80s, early 90s, people that
Yeah.
played the first Nintendos and stuff like that have always played video games. Like,
That's why video games are huge.
I
That's
don't play
why
video
it's as
games.
big as, UFC and stuff, because everyone's now into it.
and like I know that that's a thing, but like I was doing like this kind of stuff. So I mean, I guess I was kind of like this was my video game, like Pro
Yeah.
Tools.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a video game, right? Like you have all these like different.
Man, I'll say
parameters
something.
and-
Making a song is possibly the hardest thing ever.
See, I think when it's forced, it's the hardest thing ever. And that's why, like, if a song is good, like, you're like, man, they made a viral video and it's like off a phone.
Yeah.
The guy, skateboarding down the highway to the Fleetwood Mac. It's like, it's just the right thing at the right time. Like, and it doesn't, he could have done that with a cinema camera and a huge team with a huge production. It could have failed. Like a selfie camera, just like,
Yeah, dude.
drinking. And that made him like, I mean, that did it. Like, songs are
Yeah.
the same way. Like, at some point,
At least it's positive,
if
though.
the song is there, like, you just have to let it go sometimes. It's like, well, we should put this part in there. We should do that, or it should change. Like, sometimes the most simple approach is like the most appropriate approach, like with music. And that makes it easy. You just have to be able to let go. I'm not about making a lot, like, of quantity of songs, like over making a good song, but
But I have to still stand by my point, saying, like, making a song is the hardest thing ever. This is why. Because you're talking today, yeah, me and you can make a song right now and it'd be easy. But, like, 20 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you first started music,
I had like 2 tape decks.
imagine the first day you started music. Like, the first day I started, bro, it was
remember.
pretty rough.
I remember.
So, like, that compared to, well, video games is the same, but I think video games, you can just, it's so much easier to get good at it. For real. Music is something else. It does take, it's like comedy. You know what I'm saying? It's something that might take you 20 years.
I have a lot more respect for video gamers, like, just because of like how, it's no different than me and what I'm passionate about. And like, so me spending a lot of time here, even though this is like work, how's that any different than somebody spending that much time on video games and me being like, oh, they're wasting their time playing video games.
True.
So, I mean,
True.
if,
Hey, I'm a streamer, so, I'm coming from that place.
That's crazy. Like,
Some of these ideas, though, it's like, it could be both. You can have both scenarios at the same time. But I've noticed for myself, because I am in both industries, is like...
And you like work out and stuff too, which is like a whole nother... I mean, I don't know the video game world, but like, are there just a lot of like ripped...
Music takes more of like you're by yourself. Video games, all my friends are on. We're all competitive together, whereas musically... There's less people that are willing to really spend the hours, in a studio.
It's different for me. Like, I mean, I have the time of like writing my songs and stuff, but
So it's truly in your DNA.
yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah, like for sure. But like also like I'm making other people's visions, so like, it's not so intimate to me.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I'm like, it's like, hey, at the end of the day, we recorded all these parts that the artist and like me as a producer we think need to be on here. And we go to the cutting board and it's like we start, seeing what we can get to make work. But it was a lot more personal for me, like writing songs, like when I used to like ride my bedroom and stuff and like record just crappy recordings in Cakewalk.
Yeah.
And I mean...
See, the crazy thing is like talking about it being in your DNA, you know, does that go back to thousands of years of every person that had to live and through their experience to, you know, to where you're born? You know, all those individual people with all their individual actions that all led up, like if anything was different in thousands of years, you know, I couldn't exist, you couldn't exist, you know. And
we would have evolved differently, basically.
and if it's so cool to me though how somebody is born, and like for you it's just, dude, you did music. Is that because somebody down the line was, you know what I'm saying? I wonder like what it was like through the lineage, you know, of each individual person.
I know like 2 generations back, and I don't know anything prior
See,
to
that's
that.
the thing. That's
So-
who nobody knows.
So
We don't even, like, it's amnesia in a way. Like, we don't even know our own history, our individual history.
yeah, I mean, I know my dad and my grandfather, the same thing, like heavily influenced music in different aspects and ways, which influenced me. Really, my dad, like, tenfold. And my mom used to jam 106.1 every morning when I was, like, in 4th grade. So that kind of, like, that totally, I was, like, listening to pop music as a kid.
Yeah.
And with my dad, I was listening to, like, rock music, but he had, like, the gear that got me recording and stuff, so...
That's
You know, it had to be somebody influenced my grandfather, and somebody
Yeah.
influenced that influencer.
but that
so-
action of him was very influential,
Oh yeah.
if not the most. Would you say that was the most influential moment
At this point,
to get the backing of that support group?
yeah,
you
and
know?
like my parents wanted me to like go outside and play, and like there was a time in my life where they gave me like the mixer and the recording stuff, and then I would like not barricade myself in my room, but I would spend that lonely time like you were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that intimate, just me in this room. Like
That's when-
the door would
that's-
be shut, and like almost like nothing existed past.
And
that
that's
door.
when Who We Really Are comes out.
And like they let me have that time,
Yeah.
like, and so they nurtured that, and they let me play really loud guitar and jam mixes really loud that were horrible. So definitely my dad.
That's the best support, because I know what that's like. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're
Thanks.
trash, you're trash. You know, like
Oh,
if
man.
on guitar, if you're not good, you know what I'm saying? It's just
Attitude,
not
power
good.
chords, like
You know, the parents, you know, they can be supportive, you know, like, oh, you're doing good, you know, you're doing good, Johnny, or whatever. But like, no offense to Johnnies of the world, I love you, but like, I remember them notes, man, or me learning piano. I mean, they're off key. Now imagine as a vocalist, and I'm in there just, oh my God, it was a nightmare.
it seems like it'd be really hard to let, like, I know I'm not a vocalist, so like I can't do this, but how to just let your guard down and like let it to just go for it. Like
just go
sometimes
for it.
when you know, like, man, this is not like, or maybe if you didn't have, like, what point in your life? Because I remember seeing maybe Facebook videos or YouTube videos of you. You were young, and like it came across my social. I mean, this would have been like over a decade ago, probably, and you were playing like acoustic guitar and like covering. Man, you were covering like Usher or something.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and it like people like you got like a lot of views. I remember like
Yeah.
especially for like us being from a small town. It was like, and everybody was like, you need to check this guy out. Like, so like for you, were you like 14 or something? Like when you like had the
dude, yeah, it was a long time ago.
that's crazy. Like
Before that, 2011, I was in 11th grade. So that's my first. I had like,
11th grade.
dude, there's so many videos I've deleted, you know,
Why'd you delete them?
because they were trash. Those old videos, I hate them. Like, I'm terrible, obviously. You know, like I said, some people bloom because they had that support group. Some people have real life, you know, and like me, but at the same time, I preserved, I think, my skills in a way, because when they get a younger artist, they just push them to the limit too young, and it can really damage things vocally. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
So coming from that, you know, I'm grateful.
Like when you were going from yourself, like being like you're talking the alone time in your bedroom, or having that one-on-one musician time, to when you knew you could like go out and like perform, and like you had the confidence to like put yourself out there for everybody else to like hear you sing, to like basically like say, yo, that guy sucks, like potentially.
Dude, I can't even describe really what that was. It's weird. I was young, and I actually
Just from
wanted.
the beginning, then you were just open from the beginning. Then
I remember being at the computer in like 2005, and I'm listening to, man, it was some old school like punk stuff,
Yellow
like
Card.
My Chemical Romance stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was jamming in 5th grade, bro.
That's what I was jamming like in that era. Like,
So I remember sitting there, and it was almost a transcendent moment of my life where I saw myself on stage, dude, as a 5th grader, my imagination taking over, still young enough to have that imagination.
just like close your eyes.
The thing that we all forgot, you know, with the overload of schoolwork and just jobs and responsibility, I didn't have that. And I remember just, man, jamming that music and seeing myself on stage playing guitar. See, I thought I was going to be an electric lead guitarist. I was like, oh yeah, I want to shred. And it's funny, what happened was I never sang. This is crazy. And then my best friend Jacob Kroll moved to town. Next thing, it was like 7th grade, dude. And then we're at Ector Baptist, the church. And they're like, oh, we need a singer.
Give me a rundown on Ector.
The youth group was like, I went to church because my dad was a pastor, so I was in the church.
How many people go to Ector? It's like a small town, right?
This is what's crazy, bro. We created a whole vibe, dude. We were having concerts. Like, think about, like, I was in there and my whole classmate, I had multiple classmates. Like, Jacob was playing Eruption and stuff. He taught me guitar.
They were like, you guys should go to American Idol.
Perry Crouch, dude. Singing, acoustic,
So you guys
bass, Brandon Whitty bass. Dude, we were shredding.
Or you guys do like shows and stuff?
We could have been a Christian rock band. We could have done it. And then I moved to drums for 4 years with them. And we were playing
Guitar,
like the Denison First
drums,
Baptist here.
The Pit?
Yeah. I played drums there, bro. With
Crazy.
Kenyon Reed and Brandon Whitty. And I was a worship leader for like 8 years. So this is where it goes. I was into God just
Mind blown.
1,000%. Like as in junior high and everything. And I was just boom, on fire. Like, let's go. Let's share the gospel. Now I'm in church and Trevor Bush is the youth pastor, and he's like, oh, well, we need music. You know, he's trying to switch things up. And it was awesome. It was really innovative for that church because that church was only hymns.
And like what time was
no
this?
kids were going. And the church was kind of in dire need for something. And they hired Trevor, and Trevor was like, we need a nice band. He was like, Bonham has it, Sherman has it. It's time to get a band together. And then they make a deal kind of with the school because it's on the same grounds. And the cafeteria was used as the youth group stage forever. But, and you know, I don't know what it's like nowadays, but that's how it started. I'm in church. We need musicians. Well, I go to that meeting because I'm like, music, and I'm thinking about me on electric guitar. Well, then I met Jacob, and he's just playing, you know, Thunderstruck. You know what I'm saying? He's like, like on guitar. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give that up.
You're like, give me a double bass pedal.
He already
let's
had
go.
guitar, a bunch of guitars. His family was that support group in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at this meeting, and I'm like, well, we're both here. We love God. We're like, you know, totally into music. What's up? So we start hanging out every day. And it came down to there was everybody but singers. And I was like, I didn't know how to play any instruments. I just wanted to be a guitarist, but I didn't own one. And I was like, And I was like, I can sing. And they were all like, nah. I swear to God. They were like,
So this is the day.
And they picked the girls.
Oh.
Dude, for real, bro. And I was like,
So it could have been then, but
I started thinking about it. Jake's like, hey, hang out with me. We're hanging out. He said, bro, I'm playing guitar. He said, you want me to teach you guitar and you want to sing, bro? I'm like, yeah.
please.
For real, bro. So
It's like Mr.
now,
Miyagi.
me and him secretly, yes, dude. He was that person in my life. It was so cool, dude. So badass. And he had like a Paul Reed, that's right. He had a Gibson.
Like a Paul Reed Smith?
He had a Paul Reed Smith, but it wasn't a Gibson. I mean, he had a Paul Reed Smith cutout. I'm sorry. I'm butchering this.
Is it called like
He had an
McCartney's?
Epiphone. He had like a 12-string. He had an Epiphone Les Paul. That's what I'm trying to say.
He had all the good stuff.
Yeah. This is years ago. I'm trying to remember.
So you're like starstruck and you're getting a
Yeah,
jam.
he had a Fender acoustic and a really nice like oak finish, you know, Epiphone or whatever. So we were just jamming and stuff, and next thing I know, he taught me. We started just with strum patterns, because that's probably the hardest part, and then go into chords, just teaching me basic chords. And he taught me a Poison song.
How long did this take?
Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And my dad said, if you can do a song,
I'll buy you guitar.
I'll buy you a guitar.
Really?
And I did Every Rose. I swear to God. And then we went back to the meeting, dude. And next thing you know, I'm singing, bro. And they're like,
So that's when it was.
And they're like, oh yeah. So, and then it was just worship. And dude, we had to set up all the gear, tear down like 3 times a week.
Worth it.
For years.
It was your life. You loved it. Like you would, that was it for you.
I had so much practice, dude, with full band. And that's why nowadays my strong suit would be I can organize a band and everything.
Like MD, like musical director kind of like vibe?
Yeah, not on that level. Like not as classically. I did 1 year as a vocal music major. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I didn't follow through because I did believe there was a switch off where it was kind of hurting my style because of where I went. I wasn't going to the right place. I fully believe, but what they did teach me, I loved it. But the way they were forcing me to really switch all my commercial, singing, they wanted all of that out. They wanted all of my soul out. You know what I'm saying? And if you train like that every day, you will sing that way. And it was affecting when I was trying to go back, and at that time I was doing, Justin Bieber, whatever. That song you're talking about, that's,
No, I saw you before then. You were like a kid, man.
Yeah.
It had to be on YouTube.
Yeah, but you delete old stuff, you get new stuff,
Yeah, but it was like...
There'll be a time where I'll keep...
It was like Rodney Parnell or somebody's like, hey, you need to check out this guy I know. He's like really good. And like we were like hanging out one day and he like showed me, I'm pretty sure. And I didn't know at the time. I didn't even know like years later that it was you. Because like you looked so different. I think you had like long hair or shaggy hair or something.
Yeah, dude, I was a little punk,
See,
bro.
I remember like...
Because we used to, at the same time... It's like a faint
memory, but...
We started getting into rock and roll and stuff when we got a little older, so I was like a worship leader, and then we'd go to Rockstar Bar, and Smoky Bar at 16, and we're jamming rock and roll, dude. Me and London and Bodie, and dude, it was so hilarious.
It's like a movie. We need a Netflix series.
Dude, hilarious. Nathan Ray, oh my God, we thought we were definitely going to make it to Warped Tour. That was the goal. It was always the goal to go to Warped Tour.
I know that.
But, I mean, you were in a band, so, I mean, what was your goal? Was it the Warped Tour route as well?
Yeah. Like, I think 2007 Chris, you could ask him what his goals were. He would have said, I want to be on...
A millionaire.
I want to be
millionaire.
Is this a sound clip?
So fucking bad.
I want to be on Warped Tour.
He says, no millionaire, no billionaire. I want to be on Warped Tour.
I'd like to be on Warped Tour. I want to play like the Late Show. That was a thing. Or like Saturday Night Live. Still a goal.
Dude, that would
For whatever reason, to me,
Yeah.
like it's like ultimate. And then it was like, I want to play the Super Bowl. And I want to like tour internationally. Like,
But dude, I was watching you with Emerald City, right? Or what's the band? What's the band?
when? What band did you watch? How long? I wasn't in Emerald City.
But you were doing sound for...
Oh, yeah. I was doing the production management for Emerald City for a long time. But I mean, this was like...
That's in the band. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like this was like 5 to 7 years prior to that. Like, we were on Warped Tour. Like,
Okay, so let's talk about the Warped Tour phase, and then I want to get into that next one. Because, dude,
God.
I do want to say, the Warped Tour one, I love it because we're talking about the shaping of you. But the other one, dude, it was so impressive. The production y'all were doing and everything. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And
Well,
where y'all were going. And
same thing with the videos. It's like it's like a team of everybody who just they do it all, you know?
Okay, so how old are you? And how many people are in this fucking rock and roll legendary band?
Oh, man. I'm probably 18, 19.
Hell yeah. Were y'all punks?
No, like the...
Good kids?
It wasn't kids. Like the first band I was ever in, we got like signed and we like trek up to Seattle and like cut a record. We like crashed the Warped Tour after parties and like follow Warped Tour for a summer. And, you know, we come home and then the band disbands. It was like my high school band. And then like I ultimately just like go to another band. And then it was like, man, it was like just reality check time. Like it was like with other musicians that were like good, and Landon Myers was in the band.
Oh my God.
That was insane.
Dude, yeah.
And we go on tour and just like, I don't know, I was like 19. It was just crazy. I mean,
The drummer, right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was my drummer.
I know, that's why I was,
Yeah.
So like
No, we had a great time though. He was always super respectful.
Landon is a legend.
Bro.
He's like the Tommy Lee of like
Bro, he'd come back. He's
my-
like, "Yo, bro, ready to practice? Jiu-jitsu'd out, bro." He just came from his. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm terrified. I'm all jacked and stuff, and I show up and I go, "God damn, okay." You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like you and Landon would be like really good friends.
yeah, it was all good.
He was always like, dude, I just had like a protein shake. Like, I'm going for
yeah,
a jog,
it's just,
bro. Like,
dude. Me and Landon we were the best of friends in that group. Whenever we were playing some shows and stuff, it's just bands don't work out sometimes, and then there's just animosity at the end. But never was he ever bad to me.
yeah,
Like
Landon
us, you know what I'm saying?
he was never
Everything was
bad.
all good.
Landon was like a good friend. I have some of my best memories like of that chapter are with Landon
Yeah,
and a
dude.
guy named Aron and Grant and Sean, and like it was just
Hell yeah.
I was a punk.
Shout out to everybody, dude.
Dude,
And then
for real.
fucking from the
Everybody's-
start, bro.
Man, like
Yeah.
it was just I was like a punk kid and I was like angry and just I had never really drank and partied before, and I had just like started. I didn't really like do any drugs or anything at this point in my life at 19 still, but I would like start drinking heavily and totally couldn't control it. So I was just, dude, I was in straight like it's party time, fucking all the time,
So y'all all were party time all the time.
a lot, a lot.
Hell yeah.
Not
At
really,
that age, I
not
was the
really
same
Aaron.
thing,
Like
bro.
Aaron was never really party time, and Sean and Grant really.
See, Aaron's
me and Landon
we're
were party
good people.
time.
If you're named
Yeah.
Aaron out there, you're probably a good guy.
Dude, Aaron is probably one of the craziest guitar players I've ever like actually seen in person and like traveled with. As
Wow.
far as like a master shredder, like Adam Palma is the other one, but it's like two flavors. It's like vanilla
Yeah.
and chocolate. Like so, I mean,
That's cool, dude.
but yeah, that's
How many shows did y'all play?
man, a lot.
Wow.
Like a couple hundred. Like I mean, it was just full time tour out of the gate.
Did you ever switch instruments? Like,
Well, I switched from the band South Shores and touring a lot. Like I switched. I came to like a country band and like started playing B3 organ. I always like traditionally played bass,
oh wow.
like guitar. In that like time of being a kid of 12 to like 14, I just kind of like didn't master anything, but like picked up every instrument and like tried to at least craft it to a metronome so I could like track stuff. From,
So
like,
what
12 to,
helped
like-
you more in directing, your entire production when you have a full band? Would it be performing in the band, or would it be just overlooking a
No, I think it's
live
overlooking.
session?
I think it's overlooking. Like at this point, like that's where I'm in a heavy hit. Like I want to like play and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just more enjoyable to sit back and like be able to connect with somebody like on a different level of just like talking and like looking. Sometimes these people have poured like a lot of themselves into these songs, so like you try to like listen and you try to feel like where they were when they made that music.
Yeah.
And like that's like it's like a high, like it's like way better
Dude,
than
for
jamming
real, yeah.
bass in there. Like
Oh yeah.
and when you get it right, even if the song doesn't, nobody gives a shit, but like if you and the artist connect and like we get out of here and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and you just play it like 30 times when you drive,
Dude.
like all the, you listen
Dude,
to
I know what you mean.
it's just like
There's
continuously.
nothing like that.
And like you get like, there's sometimes like I'll
What
listen to
is that
songs.
though, bro?
It's gotta be like we gotta make a
What
name.
is that? Is that all in our head? When you,
We hear it
that
different.
feeling is weird, bro. It's like super deep. When you make a song and you love that song and you listen to it back
And it, like,
and
hits.
it really hits,
Yeah, exactly.
bro. It hits your soul. Like it
I've
hits
teared
your
up
spirit.
before. I've been-
Oh no, dude! I've more than teared up.
Yeah, I've been
Oh,
driving. Like I remember one time I'm coming off
I'll be
121.
going, yes, dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
I had
I'll
that
be
moment.
jumping.
It's been like a couple months, but like it's been about like 6 to 8 months, and having this like feeling about like a certain project, and then I just am working on other things, and I'm really excited about them. But like I was driving the other day, and I'm getting off 121 on the 75 in McKinney, and like the song just hits off a playlist. Like I'm like I kind of like turn it up, and like, and I mean I'm like driving, I just get like goosebumps, and it's like,
Dude.
man, it's a song. Like it's a good song. Like that's what it's about. And it's like, man, nobody may hear it, but
it makes you feel like it's your ancestors can hear that song too, and they're going, yeah. That's what it feels like to me.
I'm like, man, if somebody could just hear this song,
it feels like your ancestors are up there
we'd be
jamming
doing
it with
good,
you, because
like-
only the ghosts are with you at that point most of the time. Because
But the
if
song
you're in the
hits.
mixing,
You know what I'm talking about, though. When it hits, like, you're just like, dang, this is...
yeah.
I know this sounds like the pipe dream. It's like panning for gold, and you get like a big nugget, or you don't get
And
nothing.
you just wish people could feel what you were feeling when you're listening to that song.
Or you
know what
hope
I'm
they
saying?
do, and then you get like
Yeah.
no feed. Like, you know, you just wait, and it's still like,
Yeah.
it's like, damn.
It's hit or miss.
It's like, you know, was
and
it-
usually it's
what
the
happened?
unexpected ones are the ones that people love. So that shows the complexity of the human, not the human condition, but, just the human mindset.
I'm waiting on that. I don't want like be a one-hit wonder, but
Yeah.
it would be a lie to say like you don't want to have like that respect, like so that like you get that vibration on such a massive level
Yeah.
that it lasts like a lifetime. So,
I think for your own personal health, though, which, in your life, that's the most important thing, to feel that yourself, damn.
You
You
already
already
did.
got a dose of something.
That's big.
A dose of happiness. Like, that's more, because that's so much more satisfying. Just
That's why we
that
keep
moment.
doing it. Like having those moments.
It
like,
might be better than the fame. Just,
I never
you know what I'm
realized it
saying?
till right now,
Because if
like-
the stress outweighs that feeling, you can never have that moment because of the stress.
and you chase those moments, and like even if it's like, okay, cool.
Mm.
Like you have the people that you show, and you're like, yeah, like it's never been for justification for other people, other than like the artists that I work with. Like I want them to like walk out of here and be like, dude, this is sick. I want them to like almost leak it that night, even though I say don't do that. Like, it's like I wanted to be so pumped because I was that kid. Like I remember exactly. I never thought about like as musicians, as artists, as creatives, even maybe outside of creatives. Like we all have like those moments. Like, and that's what it's. I guess that really is the fuel. That's what it's all about. Because
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't had no
The
huge
fuel
hit.
for
Like I mean,
for your physical well-being, or for the
no, it's
more
mentally, like emotionally, like because physically, I don't know. A lot of us are a lot stronger physically than we are.
But beyond that, say, okay, the mental, the happiness, but your spirit, like, you think there's more? Do you think there's more with music's what I'm saying?
Well, it comes down to again vibration and what music is, and most
Yeah.
definitely, like scientifically, there's of course there's like more to it. Like it goes to it's a language that's lasted before time almost.
I feel like before, like, if somebody was, there was an invading army, if you just went out there and started singing, it might work. No, I'm just playing. But, like, the crazy thing to
Commercial.
me... Yeah. The crazy thing is I sit back and I look at just how weird is it that there is sound. Not only that there's ears to hear the sound. Not only that, humans have got to this point where they can make these incredibly complex harmonic medleys and just...
Oh man, yeah.
And, you can enjoy that. Like, with those same ears, it's like, how lucky are we?
You listen to
It's so weird,
Yeah,
bro.
you listen to like I would try to like find the earliest recording that you could find. It's probably got to be. I'm not even going to speculate. Late
The
18.
earliest recording, I saw it the other day on that podcast.
You like listen to it, you
Yeah.
know, and if it makes you feel a certain way, like, and then you listen to a modern day, like you said, like Wiz.
Have you
song
ever
or something.
heard the earliest recording?
I don't know. I don't think so at
We'll
this point.
play it right now. It's really trippy.
And we're back. So that's the earliest recording. If that didn't make you feel a certain way,
It really kind of... I think the first one that comes on kind of is a little haunting. And then you think about the history of it and how that voice is eternal, bro.
oh my gosh.
But the distortion of it, how is it? I guess the way that is because it's so old.
Exactly, like it's
gotta be.
It couldn't capture. You can only capture at a certain resolution at some point.
How
I mean,
did they figure that out?
It's amazing how like they press.
If that was... Sorry, there's no recording, y'all.
I think it's
Because I
hard.
failed. How did that guy... What...
think about how hard it would be to put strings on a piece of wood and make it make a musical
Yeah.
song, and then you're like, oh, by the way, now we got to figure out how to capture this and like make it last forever.
Yodels. What would he call it? He's like,
and we're going there.
Village Standard. Village Standard recording software, bro. They were really killing it in the day. Okay.
They were recording to straight wooden.
That's just incredible,
trunks.
though. So you're talking 1800s. Dudes figured out how to capture eternally, and here we are talking about it.
Like using the same what was created then.
That's incredible.
In just a very streamlined form that's
And
high fidelity.
through waves, through the air, those same vibrations that some of them, if there's certain frequencies, we perceive them as sound. And you know what I'm saying? All these different
Emotion.
waves all around us, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy that like a note in songs like make you feel a certain way.
That's why I feel like sometimes a super advanced civilization might be at a point where they're so evolved, what people would call Zen, but like an incredibly high state. Millions of years of Zen training through lineage of just generations of Zen
Well,
training.
how we started the podcast.
Like just a very advanced civilization. This is only why, because statistically, humans are pretty crappy right now. But as a whole, man, our organizations are really crappy because of the systems, and a few bad eggs get in and they can get some things in, and those things aren't easy to get rid of, and they just compound, and we know what it is, you know? And like, that's the trippiest thing though, is that humans individually, like, we're good people, you know? And if you look back through time, this is one of the safest times ever. So if you go another million years, statistically, if we can stay alive,
oh yeah, like
we would be those super evolved,
million years?
I love to say evolved, bro. Just like,
yeah, I can't imagine it.
curing frustrations and angers and stuff. I think they can. Now, I'm only bringing this up because I've been thinking a lot about Wi-Fi and all these things, and it's like, okay, I can text you through my phone. Now imagine they don't need the phone because they're at a level. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
in a million years, you can evolve. A million years is insane. Think about how man has evolved in 2,000 years, and now multiply that by 5.
well, if you want your mind blown, you got to watch Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and you got to watch Unacknowledged. And then following that, follow Jeremy Corbell, follow everything Bob Lazar, go down the Joe Rogan rabbit hole. Look all this stuff up. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Greene, you know, all these scientists, astrophysicists, particle physicists, all these people, look all of them up, okay? As well as the stuff released about the aliens and stuff. And you make your conclusion, because I have studied all that stuff. I listen to podcasts nonstop every day.
I haven't really studied that stuff.
And Earth Ancients, and, you know, you got to go to Gaia, but you also got to go to the History Channel. I've looked at all of it.
See, yeah, that's what when I make draw like drastic conclusions about things. Like I just want to like be informed. So like I haven't gone down the rabbit holes yet.
Graham Hancock. I'm throwing all these gems out there, dude. Randall Carlson,
The Great Bambino.
all these people. You got to go down those rabbit holes, look up all this history, because when you look up the history, you're going to know that when we see these things, because it's really affecting us now, we're seeing all these things, and it's kind of a major deal. That's the only reason I keep talking about it, is like, you know,
Well,
is
it's
the
not just
government capable of doing this crazy stuff?
It's not just you talking about it though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
but
at this point, a lot of people are talking about it. So like, you know, I get that people can say that there's like these left-wing conspiracy theorists and all this stuff like that. How does a group get so big? How does so many people get it wrong? And it's to the point where now I think people are starting to realize,
yeah,
man, like our parents generationally raised us this way to think this way, and not that they were wrong, like, but
there was
man,
a lot of
everything could be. You're talking about one major key fact being wrong in the big scheme of things, and how much it can change things. Now, key in multiple facts being wrong that we've been taught our whole life, like it would make everything off.
the whole paradigm
Exactly.
of our
Unbalanced.
existence, of our known existence.
Yeah, this place.
Not that it changes
be
truth,
here right now,
but
there'd be no power here right
The beautiful thing is, though, the truth is still there. It's just we didn't know. So we're the ignorant ones. You see what I'm saying?
now. Yeah, it's.
The truth is still the truth.
You're starting to scare me.
I want to scare people to a point of awareness that we can look past it. Because we can get caught up. We can do our thing. We can make this song. We can, we can do this podcast. We can go play the Twitch games. We can go play the board games. We can interact. We can go be social and drink. And
I'm looking forward to the game night. So
oh, dude, epic. And I have really good ideas about that. But when you go through life, it's like the awareness that there is something we can do to get to a next level. And I think they're interested in our music. I think music's one of those things.
it's the vibration, though.
It's one of the better things we've ever done.
If you break it down, like, it would technically make sense, like, because it's of wave. I mean, maybe we don't know it as what music is, but it's a form of communication. Obviously, we say it's the international language or whatever, but let's remove ourselves from this planet and say, like, we don't have the vibrations just right yet, but if we did, we could communicate.
Yeah.
And that's just, again, there's like multiple scientific facts that back these kind of things up.
Then it turns out
I'm open.
mediums aren't that crazy or something. Like, I'm just saying. I could be totally off the mark. I don't believe that.
I think you have to be able to open your mind up to a certain point to get to that, to get to the mediums. And, whatever that takes, like, that could be speculatory for some people at this point. But I think if you've gone to a certain extreme and you've maybe seen light at the end of the tunnel, maybe seen another dimension, or like been able to find something, then yes, one would argue, like...
You personally, though, do you believe that's in someone's head, that the brain's just a chemical release and it's all physical? Or do you believe that it is something, like you said, a dimension?
I believe that God created us, so religiously I believe from that aspect. But I don't think that God just created Earth, and I don't think that God just created us.
What would you... How do you view... Is it cool if we go here?
We're here. I mean...
Cool. How do you view...
Let's buckle up.
This is all questions at this point.
Yeah.
No debate from me. No struggle from me.
Please.
Let's hear who Chris Romain is.
There's something else out there, and... I don't think files are going to like answer it all for us and all this stuff. I don't think that there's one power or entity strong enough to keep this information on a national level. So they've wanted to stay hidden. They would have showed themselves.
Let's go into...
It's out of a safety thing for sure.
Yeah. So it's so funny how it's so easy to go back into... aliens or UAPs and all this, like, from any topic we talk about, because it's so crazy.
Even about
that the governments are like, oh, by the way, y'all, but I have seen where they came out in New York Times and they're like, oh, well, there's no evidence, and I'm like, I just don't believe y'all yet, I don't know, because I've seen these videos.
They want more.
If we had that technology, I think there would already be massive destructive things going on.
There's a lot of unexplained things prior to technology advancing where people could like manipulate film so easily.
Dude, you're so right.
So I think film, I'm more interested in like older films where like the average guy.
So you're saying it's impossible for that to be us?
Nothing's impossible.
Because we've seen UFOs for far longer than we've been so advanced that we can
understand,
even do
like way back a long time. Like if you look at Pangea and say we have like Native Americans to that land, or Native Pangeans, and they see stars and saucers and stuff. But they're gonna know there's gonna be things that, talking generationally, how we started passing things down like over long millions of years. Like it's just. There's writings on the walls.
Dude, think
there's
if you
things
could trace your lineage back to where you're Pangea or some, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so like literally, if you look at a timeline, if we are in this timeline, all those things from like then had to happen for you to exist.
How far back does it go? Like when you do like 23andMe, like, is it like they go back 1,000 years?
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just
I don't know.
Probably BS anyway.
But I mean, if you know science, we go back. You could go back real far to the start.
So what about time travel?
And you're specifically to what's floating around the planet right now is like time travel to save us from future annihilation.
Not us, but say like that time traveled. Say that somebody is technically they're time traveling from plane to plane. So say that
an interstellar vibe that he can go from a string theory kind of
Well,
different vibration and jump into a new vibration, meaning a new universe.
Yeah, it would make sense of how they just like we see it. We've
Or
always
a
seen
different,
you see a flying object and it just disappears.
A parallel to the universe where things
Exactly.
are slightly off.
Exactly.
And there's infinite parallels to where some versions are way different.
And who knows what's on the other side? Exactly.
Good Lord, bro.
But I mean, like, what if? And they like they're still on Earth with us. Like, you know, you'd hope that they're doing the good things because I feel like Earth would almost be just like the city dump at this point, like as a whole, and like be dried up and used up. I mean, after just the last 20 years, like, I mean, how is the Earth just like naturally kicking ass still? I mean, I know
for real. It's
keeping. I mean,
that's the thing. They would be somewhat. They couldn't just be. There has to be compassion involved. Okay, because we go and we study. We got scientists that go study the smallest little creature and they love them. Like there are.
Like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
What's the bigger picture?
Everybody could be that, though.
Are we worker ants for them? But like, this is a good life for us. But like, are we like creating some kind of waste that they need? Or are we? People would say, "Oh, like, well, you're soaking up the resources of the planet. They're going to come back and kill you." Like,
you got to look at it like
would have been done
it's
already.
Diplomatic relations, and they're watching. They understand life is super rare. And they know we have nuclear weapons. And since the 40s, there's been way more UFOs, UAPs sighted since the dropping of those bombs. And why has it never happened again? They were like, no, bro, I promise. I don't promise, but I'm damn near close to it. That's what I believe.
Maybe nuclear is so toxic. It's like really is the kryptonite to the planet. There just seems like there's a benefit of Earth to another life being for them to monitor it from afar, to not reveal themselves, but not to hurt anybody. You hear these existences of people being now abducted and being probed and like psychologically, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I mean, so that makes this.
I've heard some crazy stories, man. I heard about the mutilation. What about crop circles? Now it's like.
Again, communication.
It's communication and it's their language.
But why would they need to do a crop circle in the first place?
Because it's so big and the world has seen it. They know what they're doing. Everybody's seen crop circles.
If they could travel like that, they're so farly advanced. Like they wouldn't need to imprint a bat signal in a crop field. Like they can communicate with the vibrations we were talking about. Like
it's just that there's evidence that. Other governments have shot them down before, and they didn't retaliate. And like we have bodies and stuff.
Yeah, it's like I'll believe that when I see it because there's definitely evidence. There's evidence.
There's a lot of people saying that's what I'll say.
But I just, what's the point of keeping it?
But there's a lot of top tier people saying this stuff, so it's kind of weird.
It's killing him not to say anything right now. I haven't made it down the rabbit hole yet. This is why it's cool we can have this, but I'm definitely not like so shut off to it. I just believe if there's another being, it's God's created it, so there's a purpose for it.
Do you think they believe or they would still have a religion if they were, say, millions of years? Or they could just be thousands of years more advanced, easily. A couple hundred maybe, who knows?
Yeah. Exponentially as technology, I mean, it could, to not be very further much more advanced.
So,
I would say
the religion aspect.
That would be maybe the key. That'd maybe be the one. That'd be the driving force here. That'd be the center for all this evolution.
Passion.
Or the bigger picture, like something.
Yeah. That there is a connection to where both collectively. Damn, this is like
the beneficial
This is
part.
a kaleidoscope down to the microscopic, and where you see this on a galactic scale, it's like me and you linking up, you getting the whole team together and working together, and it's like that's the whole galactic picture is the same little concept, except we're making movies and they want to make civilizations.
It's a time thing, and there's got to be. I look at it maybe it's like a combination lock, like they know because they can see from afar. Like how certain things line up, and like if maybe it's like every million years it lines up a certain way, and it allows for like the pyramids to be built, and it allows for certain things, that are unexplainable in human civilization, how are they able to do this? And how is there so little evidence of it at this point? There's massive amounts of evidence, but there's not just cut and dry. This is how it was. I mean, they break it down, and it's like this is almost humanly impossible at the time without machinery. I mean, so it's like, okay, and like just how is it so perfectly precise? This is one instance here. There's tons of these. I mean, the Mariana Trench or whatever, like the deepest part of Earth. It's like I've heard certain theories about it, and like you hear about the Bermuda Triangle and about like people just disappearing, and there's like this unbalanced energy there. So, if it was like a Bigfoot or a Loch Ness Monster thing, it would be just not so many people supporting it, like these extremists. But this is like thousands of years, like I said again, cave writing on the wall of unexplainable from the sky, obviously, things to not just in America or Canada or North America or South America or Mexico or Africa or Russia, and not just at any generation or for not just rich people or poor people or just crazy people, but you have scientists, smart people, old people that were completely far left one day, that something
Two dudes in the
experienced
studio.
again, like definitely am a firm believer that there may be something out there. Or that
Created by the same God created you.
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's just my belief. I'm not denouncing aliens or whatever. I just, if God created human and earth, he could create anything that he wanted to, and it was with a purpose. And for whatever reason, it hasn't come to fruition yet.
Do you think they have music as well?
I definitely think there is some kind of international language between them. So yeah.
Same thing. Oh, okay. Just could be way different though.
Way more advanced. So I mean, it just depends. Bees dance to communicate. Like I don't know. Like
think about them pulling up, bro, and catching just free concerts every night. Think about that.
From
Any
afar.
concert they want, they could just hover and go, "You can't see me," and they're watching it. The best of the best.
Are they there? Like I mean,
they show up and they
they're
go,
in the concert.
"We have seen your greatest artist of all time."
Yeah.
Ha ha.
We love the Beatles.
This is Sultan.
Bring back Lennon.
Yeah. Oh man. So back to music. We talked about your first band, man.
Yep.
So when you ran sound and you were traveling all over, I mean, was it all over internationally or was it stateside? Oh, okay.
No, I was international.
Where all did you go?
A lot of things like destination, like Cancun, Aruba, Tulum, Canada. I mean,
Dude, nice.
Just in different places.
Oh my gosh.
And then destinational, like an intercontinentally or like stateside would be, like Orlando. Did San Diego a lot. Colorado. There's the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. A lot of stuff in like Fort Lauderdale area, like Miami Beach.
Dude, I'm so jealous.
It sounds awesome, but it's like it's a really strenuous life because like you're flying at 5 a.m, you're catching shuttles at 3:30 or 4, depending on how far away from the airport that you're flying out of, and then you're getting off the airplane onto a shuttle bus, going to get checked into a hotel so you can go to a sound check to do a show, to get back, and like maybe at 6 to 8 or 6 to 9, that's your first free time in 24 hours. That's for you to get ready for the show.
Yeah. That's
for
a
you to take
grind right
nap.
there, dude.
So it's like, oh, cool. And, then you do the show, and then you're done at midnight or 1. And, depending on what kind of personality you are, that's another couple hours for you to have some free time. So you either indulge or you literally get to bed and you sleep for an hour or two and you do it all over again.
Yeah. Did you have any moments on that? Was it scattered up into multiple tours?
It was like a continual tour because like they don't do
one
runs.
tour with them?
It's just like it's like a full-time gig. I mean, they play a couple 220, 230 shows a year. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, so it's
that's
like
a lot of work.
So you're just continually, and it's probably 60% somewhat within a 300-mile radius of home, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Or 40% travel. And there's
So did you have a favorite place, favorite show, favorite destination?
I really like
Did you
doing,
get to relax, or was it just too much?
it wasn't like a lot of relaxing for me because like I had like a heavy load as far as like a responsibility. And you have a whole show production on you when you fly into a gig, and I have like 2 cases, and I get to the show site and I'm
So what were your main responsibilities? Just to keep all the sound prestige?
We'll be like, so like in town, yeah, like really just audio, the experience, interfacing with the client or like the client's production contact. My like boss per se, like he would do the contracts and stuff, and then say like, hey, I need you to go do a site visit, make sure that there's plenty of power, and hey, they're saying the stage size is going to be kind of off here. Just make sure the band can load in, and make sure that the crew is going to have like a good path, and just all those kind of like logistics. And then the day of the show, it's like get there early, make sure there's no hiccups, make sure it's 100%, so that when this band kicks off, it's nothing but like the best experience. Because these clients, like, it's usually like weddings and like really high pressure events. I mean,
Yeah.
they're raising like $1 million for this girl who was hit by a drunk driver, and it's like when the band plays, these people start spending money. Like you get these people that don't dance and stuff, and they're going crazy. It's Emerald City is the best. Like, so I mean, it's just a different level.
I love that there's a cause back too. I mean,
always a cause.
That's epic.
There's always a cause. That's what's kept it going, and that's why they've been around for 40 years. I mean,
dude, that's exceptional.
Insane.
So did that develop and lead into all of this now, or was that just working with Robert and
I met Robert and the guys through Emerald City endeavors. Me and my partner Tony had the studio as early as 2007.
Oh, okay, Tony.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tony.
Tony's the man. Tony Garaputo. He's like the owner and the creator, like originally, of what Split Window is. And throughout my life, he's always been there. He's always been a positive force to help me grow, to help us grow. And there's been times when I've gone on the road and like we'd split paths. I mean, when I was young and dumb, Tony was just totally gave me an outlet to really grow and like get that confidence we were talking about earlier, and to like know like, man, I can throw down, we can do this. Like, so when we separated while I went on the road for years, went on the road for about 7 years, and then finally me and Tony were like, yo, we gotta do something. And Tony's like, well, actually, like the original studio in Sherman, I'm thinking about just shutting it down and closing the doors. He's like, unless you want to give it a run. Like,
and that was this place?
It wasn't this place. It was the original studio where
we were gonna do the video, and then
yeah, like at the old studio. And it was like, well, let's give it a go.
That place was pretty sick, dude.
Oh, I love that place.
I love that vibe.
We still have that place, and it's still like it's a whole different vibe exactly than this place. But Tony just always has been like the business and like the brains.
Yeah.
And it's been even better because like the first chapter, we'll call it chapter 1, chapter 2. Chapter 1, like he like worked full time for like a government entity and like did deals for like top like stuff.
This is juicy.
Yeah. And
Tony.
He did it for 40 years, like defense contracting, like foreign and domestic. And I mean, he was like a straight G, like the best at what, So he worked for the same place for like 40 years because...
So is this all classified information?
This isn't classified, but I mean, there's things... I mean, he won't talk to me about, There's just... He still has probably like top secret, whatever. So like, there's like... I just respect it and, but he's like a business genius. I mean, and he's passionate about music. He's like, it's his passion genuinely in life. So he may have taken that path, but I think he worked like for 40 years knowing like it would be his dream to be able to do something on this level.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been a complete, just led the path in the business way. Cause I mean, I'm an old school musician, producer. I mean, I didn't go to college. I don't have a lot of I've grown as a person, but as far as like putting a massive marketing pitch together and going after, a city and certain people, like I didn't have the confidence to do that. And he just sat back and set up like a list of, he's like, these are our check marks. If we can hit this, then we'll go to this. And it was about a mile long. And it's like, if we can make all these things happen, we'll get this. We're gonna get the studio. We're gonna make the city a place and that it's an outlet for anybody. It's an undeveloped market.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna be that outlet. So
I love it, dude.
he's insane. Like
so the vision is to be an outlet for the
all creative.
just to manage talent, or
Not to manage talent, no. Like
just for people to come in and they pay and they get their art done properly.
yeah, or just like come and sit in and talk with us. Like, what's your project? Like, are you a young aspiring artist who doesn't have like the means to get the WA-87 and the Focusrite and stuff like that? Like, and you need to do your podcast, like, and you need to get it off your chest. Here's an affordable outlet that's of high quality.
What kind of pricing could they look at?
Like right now, for the podcast studio, we're looking at like $50 an hour, and we can help you make your intros and your outros so like it's professional.
Would that be like hour, like per minute? Like you're paying like hour of film, $50, or hour that they're recording?
Like in our recording podcast, like they can just come sit in for an hour, maybe record 2 episodes, or do 230s, or
does that include any? They get the files, or y'all mix it up and all that?
yeah. Like we actually, the way that it works, like we got this sweet like little interface that kind of like masters it and does it all for you. So it's like meant to be a streamlined process. So like say you got a lunch break and you want to, most people don't have a lot of time, so
yeah.
You're on your lunch break with your coworkers that you're always talking about that podcast. It's like, yo, let's grab a coffee. Let's come over here real quick. We got an hour, and we'll drop a 30-minute cast.
Go down to 400 Main, right?
Yeah, spend $25 over lunch. Like, come in, and then you just put your flash drive and leave, and you can upload it straight. I mean,
that's another good thing. There's a lot of good coffee down here, bro.
Oh, CJ's.
I love the arts, bro.
410 Collective is right downstairs. You got to check it out. They got
right downstairs?
Down and over.
Oh my
on the
God.
main street.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like,
dude, they're right downtown right here. I mean, it's really nice. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of
the culture here is amazing.
A lot of cool stuff. So
sweet, dude. I love the history of just the whole entire place. Now, you said when I came in, it really floored me was that this place was designed by
Russ Berger,
world-renowned
acoustician.
Wow.
So this place was originally like an overdub studio for, from what I understand, a media company in the 80s who did like automotive commercials. And for a brief time, they did like CMT commercials for like big artists.
Wow. Yeah.
So downstairs was a huge, they pulled cars in and shoot them. And I mean, it was awesome. Upstairs, back then you weren't able to just download music. So like they had full bands that like made the jingles for the backing tracks.
Wow.
So
that's phenomenal.
They had Russ Berger design this in the 80s, who was like this young, local to Dallas, acoustician. And little did we know, he grew up to design like NBC studios, like
wow,
some of the biggest Whitney
that's
Houston
incredible
studio. Like,
oh wow,
I mean, he's legit. So this studio coming into it, it's just audio perfect to me. Like the sounds we were able to get here already, just with mics in the room, have been next level incredible. Like. And it's just been like the test run, so I'm so pumped to just get going. Like
I know I gotta come through. I'm gonna have to pay this man. I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna do a song or something. We got to get something rolling. This is sweet. So now we didn't explain this. What kind of monitor situation are we running?
So I just got like ultra curved Samsung here, so I can in my machine. I'm using a Mac trash can. It's all real tight and simple. It works great.
You just got a TV or what?
This is like just like a computer monitor, I think.
But the one
TV up there though. You got a 50.
Okay, now I was saying the mixing monitors.
Oh, these are vintage Yuri 828s. They were built in originally. They work like they sound incredible. They're old school. They're called wall movers. I mean, they're loud. I got some focal near field right here. So that's what that's what we'd be listening to right here. Woo!
Oh man,
and I mean
that's dope.
So that's my monitors, yeah.
Sweet. So this room's designed acoustically just to hear the mix back clean?
So basically, like when a room is square, sound waves bounce off the wall and they come back and they hit each other. And when they hit each other, it changes the sound wave that's going out. So if this room does not have a parallel wall in it, I mean, there's no wall parallel to each other. So that means like certain sound frequencies that are caught in this side of the room, it's, you know, built like this over here. So like it doesn't cancel them out. So it's like flat and true.
Does the wood floor have to do with it as well, and the rug, or is that just aesthetically
I think
pleasing?
It probably helps a little bit with the dampening with the rug. For mostly though, the cloud that's over here, like this is tremendous. There's
That's
like
just a foam pad.
Yeah, it's like a studio foamed cloud. So there's like
That's incredible.
this does, you know, manipulates the room a little bit. And then the floor is floated. So it's like a floor on a subfloor on a floor with an air gap and a subfloor. I mean, it's insane.
Okay. There's science into every aspect of this
the
room.
walls, I mean, even in the room in there.
What kind of glass? Is that plexiglass?
No, that's full on just argon filled glass that's
Is it two walls of glass there?
yeah, and they're both
between-
different sizes. So like, look, there's nothing parallel. Like,
Yeah.
so it really plays into split window studios.
Wow, dude. And now in the main room, you're running a Neumann 87, right?
Yeah, I got a ton. I mean, we got a ton of mics, but right now I have a setup for an acoustic session and a piano session we did. So I got a pair of Neumann KM84s on the piano right now. They sound incredible. We got a Yamaha C Series grand piano in there, vintage.
Oh my
And
god.
then I got a U87 and then an AKG 414 XL2.
If you know music, man, they got some really nice gear up in here. If you need something clean, this is the place to go.
Yeah, you take the mics and the gear and the room design, and I mean, it all plays. It all plays.
And
we
then
got
the mind of the guy behind the board. Let's go.
We can take it to the next level. Y'all just come and see us. www.splitwindowstudios.com, 400 West Main, right here in downtown Denison, Texas.
Man, and that's affordable for the consumer. It's gonna help even more of that just good vibes out. You know, the aliens can see it from above.
Yeah, they
you
can
know,
stop
get the
by and
community,
catch a
make some
concert,
music, make some
split
art.
window.
Art's great, and y'all got the mural outside on the side wall. So if you go outside for
Yeah.
a fresh air, man, you got a mural painted on the wall.
Yeah, we got a really cool client lounge. We have a virtual video studio that's almost complete. We're running the home stretch of that. So there's not a facility like this in at least 100-mile radius that we've been able to find.
Yeah,
The LED like walls is how they did the new Star Wars movie. I mean, I'm excited to bring that technology to like our area.
oh yeah,
It's next level.
the stuff you showed me, bro.
It's
Mind
next level.
blowing,
Like-
mind blowing.
This studio's next level. So when you add the film facility studio, we have a video control. It's a full, looks like NBC Studios, like for a broadcast.
Yeah.
So you can come to the studio. We can actually, from any room, we can broadcast a live feed from anywhere. So
That's incredible, dude. I love it, man. I love the vibe.
thanks, bro.
Everything, dude. You're just such a positive light, and you've always inspired me, helped me out.
Thanks, man.
You
You're
always
welcome
got me
anytime.
taken care of. You're my bro.
I appreciate you.
You know, I'd like to close out and just say one more time, dude. Split Window Studios. I'm so excited to come here to keep working with you, bro, and just see where you get to go. Because the way you talked about the man that designed this room, little did we know he's gonna grow to be. And look at the vibe. You're in that same room with the same story going on.
Oh, it's
And that's destiny, bro. That's like
it
very
definitely-
powerful.
I can't, like, I know we're closing out, but I got to say one thing. Like, we talked about, like, for this to come together, like, it was a lot of things had to line up. And the list was so long. And it took about 5 months for all this to work out, by the way. Like, it was a continuous. And then it wasn't like you just meet and it's like, all right, well, cool. Like, it costs this much and we can make it happen. And we got the money. Here you go. No, it's like months of getting approvals and permits and just making deals. And, you know, it all lined up and all worked out. It makes no sense. It had to be destiny.
Dude,
Like,
I feel like that so many
it's
times.
the only answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. So, but I appreciate you stopping by, getting like a sneak peek at the new place. You guys check out Aron. He doesn't get to plug himself too much, but he's been dropping some fire YouTube covers. He's producing these all from his studio. Like, he's got it going on at his place too. So support these artists that
Slowly
are out here.
building.
It's amazing. Like, He showed me his backdrop. I'm like, yeah, I need to get that over here. Like,
I got my own foam treatment coming in. It's nothing compared to this room though.
this was already here. The foam was
Yeah.
here already, luckily. But
If I want to be real next level, I'm hitting this man up. So.
well, y'all check it out. Subscribe to the podcast too.
Hey, one more time, man. This is the third on Deliriously Intriguing, man. I really hope you appreciated this episode. Man, we got to go into music, the new studio, all the exciting things of Chris Romain. One more time, Chris Romain at Split Window Studios. What's that address one more time?
It's 400 West Main, Denison, Texas.
Denison, Texas, repping 903. While you're in town, say you're coming from Dallas, check out, there's Homestead Winery. Man, there's 903 Brewers. Where's a couple other places we
Iron
should
Root
plug
Republic.
in? Give a few shout outs.
The Tri Incubator, 1880 Ice House. You know, if you're looking for some good, just clean, you know, you don't want to feel bulky and like just good food, natural. Cafe Blackbird here on Main Street. Oh my goodness.
People don't realize, bro, like the area has a lot to offer. And if you want to go swim on a lake like Island View, man, or Eisenhower State Park, or, dude, you're missing out. Like Texoma is really
great
popping.
Fishing, great hunting.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
You know, great camping, great hiking, great boating.
Great music production. I mean,
you got Choctaw just right up the road. So
you
if
got
wanna
you got
gamble,
gambling
I mean,
within that. I mean,
why
are
would you not
kidding
come
me?
here? We got the premier
real.
studio. I mean,
Yeah, don't get it twisted that you have to be in an urban setting. Like, you can bring the vibe to you. Ask Drake, because he was in Toronto and there wasn't a lot popping up there. And him and 40, they get together, bam, magic. And once somebody like Chris Romain moves into the town and gets it all set up and invests his work into here and all these other craft breweries, all that, man, this is when we change communities. We start adding more culture, more art, more music. We got the Rialto down the road. There's so many things you can do with this area.
the city is behind it 110% too. Like, I've never seen a city that's so just supportive of like natural arts, like music and just the wine culture that goes down here. And so, I mean, small town, it is like, will blow your mind. Cause I mean, it's like big city things going on right here.
But it's also got that peace and serenity. You can just, not pizza, peace. It totally
pizza.
sounded like pizza, but hey,
We got Pizza Domino's right here.
There we go. Italian Affair.
Solly's.
Oh yeah. It doesn't the sign say Italian AF?
Yeah, it's like the
Remember when
viral
the lights
meme?
went out, it says Italian.
They just kept it that way.
Italian as fuck. But hey, man, like I said, y'all, check out Denison, Texas. Check out the 903 area. Really put your time and investment in these small town communities and believe in them, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of musicians in this town, there's a lot of artists in this town, there's a lot of people that just don't feel like people care about their area. But if we change that narrative, that's very powerful and that's groundbreaking, and we can be a part of that movement. And it's very important for not only us, not only for our happiness, and we can go out and enjoy it, but it's going to promote more money and wealth for everybody. Not only that, you know, in that comes more protocol just for future generations to build upon that and expound everything.
You got to like think of the future, and like I always, you know, we want better school systems so that our kids can be better educated, so they can go off and make the world a better place. Like, but you know, we got to like set them up for that, and we got to. So
we can evolve or we can devolve. And there are such things as, you know, like the Dark Ages followed the burning of Library of Alexandria, all that knowledge lost. We must build up in where we are instead of just trashing where we are, moving to another place. Dude, I love what's going on here because people are investing in it, and it's just so really cool. And I'm noticing the same thing in Sherman, and it's just, it's really cool.
Just a local community to combine.
Yeah, Sherman and Denison really is just, it feels one to me.
Sherman's different, like with the downtown, like is epic, and I love how much industry is in Sherman.
But all the people are connected. Oh, everyone's connected. Definitely. It's like the same. It's just a community.
Yeah, but it's like New York. You know, you got all the neighborhoods, Brooklyn, Manhattan. Like, you know,
but it's all love. Nobody's.
Where are you from?
Nobody like, oh, you're from Denison. Oh, you're from Sherman. It ain't. What you got? Battle of the Axe, which is awesome. That's as bad as it gets. That's as bad as it gets.
That's a great thing. Like,
yeah, they do it peacefully, man.
DHS.
Hey, who you repping?
DHS.
Let's go.
For life.
I don't know if I'm going to get the Bearcats this next go around, but let's see. Who do you think's going to win?
I think the Axe has been here for, what, 200-300 years at this point, so it's staying here.
Hold up. Okay, I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I got Denison because I got the Kroll family. Shout out Jacob, the one that taught me the guitar and everything.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, his mom went to Denison, so I got to rep Denison. So yeah, that's where I stand. All right, closing out, y'all. Deliriously intriguing. We love you, and see you next time. Bye.